morning, everybody. Now that we're done playing musical cars, as you can see, today we're working on the Civic, and we got a good amount of parts to do today. So what I plan on doing is pretty much driving this single cam for a while. Like we said, we're still working on what we're gonna do to this and get parts for it. So in the meantime, I want to get it running a little bit better, a little more reliable. It's gonna need a timing belt, full tune-up, new distributor, fuel filter. I got some timing cover covers for it since it's completely missing all of them. And yeah, this is just going to be a whole tune-up video, timing belt video for you guys if you want to do one. And yeah, so we're just going to get started on it. First thing I'm going to do, as you saw Carter just walk in the background, he decided to stop by, give me a hand. Well, because why not just hang out in the garage? And you guys haven't seen Carter in a long time. Being that the floor is not done, I am going to jump and open this package up from Traction. They're Versamat. So I figured I'd get to show you guys exactly what this. Carter, take this out, bro. We should have been more prepared. Just rip that sucker open. Oh, that's like a nice one.
It's real thick, this stuff.
Yeah, it's supposed to just be just some kind of mat that you can use, like those Harbor Freight ones. So you can roll this one up. So there you go, Traction Engineered. Okay, Carter, yeah. Traction Engineered Products. Appreciate you guys for that. We still haven't opened up our Pro Gear seat, but I'm jumping in and using this mat right now, and we're gonna see how it goes.
Some new tires. Release some new suspension bolts.
Yeah, and you need a stud. Put some extended studs on
Let's
that.
get those photos with eBay.
I don't know what brand those are.
Penetrating oil in there.
Oh, is that a bad sign that the threads aren't moving and bolts just spinning?
Seems like a really bad sign. So I got a new bolt.
Car's jacked up. We got the wheel off because we want to have access to the crank pulley through here. What we're doing at this point now, we loosened up the two motor mount bolts here. You guys saw that. Now I'm loosening this one up. So we want all this out of our way so we can start seeing our timing marks. But before we get there, we have a new motor mount. So that's why we're pretty much taking this one off and junking it. So once you get this loose, this is out of your way, you're gonna first you're gonna put your motor on top dead center. I'm gonna show you guys the marks. I can kind of see it says up here, but once we set this motor top dead, I'm gonna show you exactly how to time it. So here's what we ended up doing, guys. We got our motor mount out. We obviously moved our cruise control to the side. By the way, if anybody has an OEM cruise control cover, let me know. I'd really like to put the cover back on this. But we got all that out of our way. We went to this alternator bolt right here. Just loosen this up. You don't have to take it out. And then the same thing, you're going to loosen this other bolt next to it. So this is a 14, this is a 12. Once you start loosening this, you'll see the alternator, the belt tension is all manual. So you would just loosen it up and then slide your alternator over, and then you loosen your belt tension. Take that belt off. Then we came down to the crank. Down here at the crank, we loosened up the 19mm bolt. We just cracked it loose, walked the crank pulley off, and now we're left with our timing marks. Now you can see there's a little notch. Can you see it? So you guys can see that little timing mark right up here. You want that mark lined up just like that. You want it almost at the 1 o'clock position. So then when you come to the top, we have the word up. That's going to be facing up, and then you're going to have these two marks on the side. Normally they're going to be horizontal, but you don't need to. On the D16Y6, you don't want it fully horizontal with the head. This is what?
Z6.
All right, thanks for correcting me, Carter. Z6. You don't go off of these two horizontal lines. What you're actually going for is the third line right down here. So you're going to have a third one. You're going to line that up with this little plastic pointer Once you have all of that, all those marks set up, you're good to go to loosen up our tensioner down there. Now, where do you find all this information? So where do you guys go if you don't know what timing marks you need, if Google's no help, right? So the guys over at eManual Online partnered up with me, and we actually hooked me up with a 94 Civic OEM replacement manual. So you're gonna go through this manual. It's literally the OEM manual, just in PDF form. You can download it on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop. You don't need those old manuals anymore that they'll get crusted, or you'll rip pages, or in my case, you're using gloves and you're just touching the pages and then they get dirty. I'm gonna leave a link down below to eManual Online. Any manual you guys need, they have tons and tons of manuals for pretty much any car. Include torque specs, timing setups, how to build your motor, piston gap, ring gapping. Literally, it's an OEM manual, but you're getting it in a PDF form. Link down below. Thank you, eManual Online. It's gonna help us through this whole timing job, timing belt job. So we're just going to continue following that manual, and let's get this belt off. Now we're at the tensioner portion of all this. This is your tensioner. What you're going to do is loosen up this 14, which I did already, and which you can actually see there's an adjustment up and down for your tensioner. So I loosened it, and I just pulled the tensioner down. I tightened it up for you guys so you can see. Once you move this tensioner down, you'll start getting all your slack for your belt. So you can literally just kind of slide your belt off from here. And then you could just take your belt completely off. Another thing I want to show you guys now that we kind of have the belt out of the way is the pointer for your crank pulley down here. So remember how we said we had this little mark right here to line up? There's a pointer underneath all this grease right there. So that arrow is going to line up with the little mark on your crank sprocket, and that's how you know you're exactly on top dead. So we're going to go on upstairs, or up top, take the rest of the belt off, and I'm actually replacing this tensioner right here. So we're going to replace this, replace the spring, and then we're going to go to the radiator and drain the radiator, because we're going to be replacing the water pump as well. Now it looks like it's all been replaced, but we're doing it just for my peace of mind. Before we go draining or pulling the water pump out, I have the coolant draining right now. When I got this, I noticed there seemed to be a lot of oil leaks on the sides of everything like that. I ended up getting a new cover for it, but of course in the listing they don't show you how the cover is like melted on the back. And some of these gaskets were hard to find, are new because they're discontinued, so the gaskets go in here. What I'm doing right now, I just took the cam bolts off so we can slide the pulley. That's off. And that's how you get this gasket or this cover off. You have to take that off, slide this off. I bought some gaskets. This actually came with some with gaskets on it. There was a bolt missing here. I think that's where the leak was coming from. Looking at this, I'm gonna end up reusing this. I'm just gonna clean it off. Carter has got some of the gaskets that I ordered. So as you can see, Honda still sells some, but the one that was discontinued was this long one. Turns out this actually had it. So I'm going to be reusing that, just cleaning this cover off and putting some gaskets on, so just in case you guys want to replace some of these covers. That's how you get that one off. I have a new bottom cover that's going on as well. I loosened up the post mount here just so I can slide this back, move this. I was going to replace the cam seal, but this seal is actually not leaking. It's just one of those, bought it just in case I needed it. But I'm at the point now where if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's not leaking. This is an OEM gasket. I'm not touching it, so I'm going to put these gaskets that he has back onto this cover, put the cam pulley back on, and then we're going to be pulling the water pump off. The water pump, now that we got you here, is only these 10mm bolts. Pull this off, put the new one on, get the new tensioner on, and then I'll show you guys when we're throwing the timing belt back on, make sure our timing marks are still all lined up. Timing belt is all set up now, guys. We actually have another guest. Jay just decided to drop by and hang out. So as you guys can see, we pretty much put everything back together. Timing belt, it's got good tension on it. Now we're focusing on the valve cover. We're going to be doing new gasket, new grommets. I got new plugs for it.
You ran out of gloves.
Well, you didn't have to use my last glove.
I didn't. I have the last pair.
All right. I went to put this cover on, and apparently I didn't order the gasket for this. Oh no, this is not the one. Carter, where's the lower cover that I have? That one. I didn't I couldn't find a gasket for this. So if anybody has a gasket for that lower cover, let me know. I'd like to get that, so I'm not putting that on for now.
We can take everything back apart and put it on.
Yeah, well, it won't be hard. So we're doing that. Spark plugs, wires. I also have a fuel filter for it. I'm gonna be doing all of that.
A puller for this?
Hang on, bro. Let me finish. Let me get through the
This is
video
real time,
first.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. Bro, listen, I'm doing my best. I still don't have all my tools here. Go. Let's get all this done. Go. Carter's taking care of the filter. Jay's taking care of the valve cover setup, and I'm gonna grab a seat and just watch these guys work. So there's a lot of hands on deck right now. I want to give you guys an update on what's going on before I lose you too much. There's been a lot happening in this video.
We put a bunch of black electric tape everywhere.
So we have Jay finishing up the front timing cover right there. He's taking care of that. He's also put in new plugs, new wires on it. Carter is actually putting on a new lower AC mount. Car didn't come with one. Got no light. The car did not come with a lower AC mount. Plan on putting AC back in this car, so he's installing that. We were going to change that engine mount. I got given the wrong engine mount and we can't find one in time, so I'm going to wait to get a new one of those. On top of that, Carter put in a new fuel filter over there. So we're pretty much buttoning everything up now, and once all these little things are done, we're going to attempt the first start. All right, car is all put together. Carter's in the driver's seat. He's going to give it a start. Is it dead? No, I'm saying, is it dead?
I mean,
All right, hang on. It might be dead. We got to see, but let's go. First start.
I'm staying back here. Oil pressure.
What'd you say?
I said oil pressure. Oh, we're not checking the oil no more? We just gave up on it? Why'd you just turn it off?
Why'd you shut it off?
I thought we was getting to the oil pressure, then check it, then check it. Oh, you guys never worked at Walmart before, huh? Whatever. Someone started in the quick lube, alright?
It might need what, a little bit, but we gotta top off the coolant. But it started, bro. Like,
It started stronger than it ever did before. No, oil's good, bro. Nice. 4.2 cool.
there we go. First single cam timing belt, believe it or not, I've ever done. And it sounds like the belt's a little tight though.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey, yo. Oh,
yeah,
here we
something
go.
else is a
I'll
little
tell you what. So guess what? It's a couple days later. The car is still here. Let me explain what happened. So in that last clip, I'm pretty sure the last clip was, I said, hey, I hear like a funny noise. Probably the belt is a little too tight or something like that. Well, turns out the timing belt was actually, I don't want to say chewing, but it was rubbing against our new upper timing cover. I'm like, okay, and I only realized it was rubbing the cover because as we had the car running for a bit, I noticed the timing belt started to slowly walk off the, what pulley? The tensioner. The timing belt tensioner. I noticed the belt was slightly off of it, like it was walking. So then we took the top cover off and noticed that the belt was rubbing that because the belt started to walk. Figured, all right, like I thought, everything is too tight, let me loosen it up a little bit. We worked on the car for like another 2 hours trying to figure this out. Why every time we would make an adjustment, started up, the timing belt kept trying to walk off. In those 2 hours, we started to come to a conclusion, and as actually Carter pointed it out, I didn't even realize it. We're missing the lower timing belt guide that goes behind the crank. So it's this little piece right here. We looked all over the garage, all over the floor. I would have noticed something fall when I took the crank pulley off. It was never there. I don't know how the belt never moved before. So I ordered one. In case you guys want to know, I have the part number right there. I'm going to install this now and cross my fingers. So in case you guys aren't sure what I'm talking about, here's the lower part of the engine. Our crank pulley would go right here. With the crank pulley off,
you should have 2 timing belt guides. One in the back of the belt, which I have, I verified that. And then one in the front, which apparently mine was never there. It's missing. I don't know what happened. So here's the guide. It literally just goes like this. You know, in essence, keep the belt from walking forward. In my case, I hope that's my fix. These do have like a little bit of a concave to them. You can kind of see there's a lip. You want the lip to come towards you, so towards the crank pulley. You don't want to put that lip towards the belt side, otherwise it'll chew the belt up as the belt's riding. So all we're going to do is put that on like that, put our crank pulley back on, and see what happens.
The timing belt's all put back together. That was pretty easy to do. I'm looking down here. I see the gap that we had is taken up by that shim. So yeah, we should be good. Let's start it up and see if it moves or not. Alright, there you guys go. I can finally end this video. It's fixed. So my rookie mistake is a lesson for me to learn on these timing belt engines for Hondas, I guess. To be honest with you, when I used to work at Hyundai, I did a lot of timing belt jobs and I never paid attention if I had those shims in there or not. Maybe it's a Honda thing. I don't know, or the guides, whatever it is. That guide fixed that problem. So if you guys have an issue like that, of your timing belt keeps trying to slide off or something like that, see if you have those guides. Those guides are there for a reason, and the reason is to prevent the belt from moving. So I'm going to put the rest of the car back together, close this video off, leave you guys with a sneak peek parts over there. We have a clutch to do on this. I might do that next. I might do a video on the RSX next. I don't know yet. We're gonna see what gets done first, but in the meantime, let me put this back together. While I'm putting this back together, hit the comments section, leave me some comments, leave me some likes. The likes are really gonna help the channel. It's gonna really help fund this new build. So you guys like all the videos you can, and subscribe if you're new. It really helps me out a lot and it lets me know that I'm doing a good job for you guys. So until then, I'll catch you in the next video. Stay motivated and keep making those streets louder.